Hey, welcome to another edition of Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. It is I, DJ Impact, and I got all of us here. It's been like forever, man, you know.
I can't afford to go on cruises.
Excuse me?
I can't afford to go on cruises, so
Whatever. Matt
until
Mike,
cheesesteak runs and
Sin City Steve, and Rob Bossoleri. Don't let this man fool you. He's got money. But anyways, anybody, hey.
credit card gives the illusion of having money.
He doesn't have any more money. He's been using it all on those lawyers for his cases.
Oh boy, you got cases.
Well, yeah, it doesn't. I mean, harassment.
Yeah, like 90 of them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right. Hey, hey everybody, welcome to the show. If you're watching this live, go ahead and put all of your comments in the chat box, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. We'd love to get your comments in, and we'll put them up as we see fit. With that, we got a lot of little wrestling talk we're going to go over this past week, so let's get right into it with Too Sweet for the Week. All right, Sin City, what you got, man? What was happening this past week?
All right. So Kazuchika Okada is still your AEW Continental Champion after defeating Dax Harwood in the main event of Dynamite. Match went 17 minutes. Too sweet all around for these guys. The dastardly Okada used a diversion and hit a low blow on Dax before hitting him with the Rainmaker for the win. Solid match. Obviously, exactly as you would expect it to be with both of those guys involved.
Sure.
So yeah, well done. This week, we also had a contract signing for the TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné, Willow Nightingale. Thankfully, they have successfully pivoted with the Mercedes character, and they are going heel with her. Hallelujah. Thank God.
Yeah.
It's exactly what they needed to do.
Sure.
She's so much better as a heel than she is as a babyface, as everybody can attest to that's watched any of her babyface promos that she's cut so far in AEW.
Yeah.
The back and forth promo between the two of them was very solid. And let's call it what it is. The segment obviously ended in the most stereotypical of fashion with Willow power bombing Mercedes through a table. So yeah, Mercedes has taken her first bump in AEW and hasn't even competed in her first match yet. So there we go.
There we go.
And lastly, we also got some really good build with Adam Copeland in the House of Black this week too. Copeland ambushed by them on his way out to the ring as he was about to cut a promo. They beat his ass and stole his wedding ring. A bit later on, Malachi accepted the challenge for the barbed wire steel cage match and said that when Copeland loses, he will have to bend the knee to the House of Black.
Ooh.
We'll see.
Wow. Bend the knee. We'll see what happens. Shout out to John. It's good to see you back, bro. It's great to see your name popping back on here and you're safe and all good. So
absolutely.
Thanks for all you do. We appreciate it. Throw those comments up and we will get it in. Rob, what you got, man? What was this wrestling for you this past week?
Raw was pretty good. We had a lot of good matches on Raw this week. Lyra Valkyria did really well. We have Sami Zayn was taking on members of the Alpha Academy.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see if they all go heel. We had a lot of stuff going on for the King of the Ring tournament. I'm really enjoying where they're taking this. I hope they develop this into something good. But the Kofi Kingston match versus Gunther. I mean, Kofi took some really severe chops. He almost flattened what little bit of a peck he had left. I mean, he's going to have nipples in his back at this point. It was really good. Anything to do with Gunther, I'm really good. And the Boston Crab being used again. I don't know if they're going to give him a custom name for it. I think it's about time they do. Because he's doing very, otherwise basic moves, but he's making them his own, if that's fair to say. So I really enjoyed what came out of Raw this week. Usually I don't, but they made use of the time, which is something they normally don't do. Usually they just have filler matches. Didn't feel like that this week, so I enjoyed Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I thought so as well. I tell you, when you look at the King of the Ring, at first I was like, okay. I was trying to think, had Randy Orton ever been King of the Ring? And I couldn't think of all my years, so I went ahead and asked Google, and Google answered and said nope. And I said, oh, well, it's got to be Randy. That's the one thing he hasn't done. He's done everything else. He's had every monarch he could possibly have, but that. But at the same time, I mean, Gunther's, he's still a beast as well, and they're still building him up to become this ultimate.
It would have to be Gunther, because what are you going to do with the Randy Orton? Because usually, I thought the point of King of the Ring was to push somebody to something bigger, but they don't always do that. They didn't do that with they don't always do it.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm thinking, well, maybe this could just be the one thing Randy just never had that they just may give it, but nothing will come out of it. But at least he can add it to the rest of his list of accolades, I guess is what I'm saying. So we'll see what happens. Matt Michaels, what you got, man?
The interesting thing about the King of the Ring seems to be that we have two routes. We either have Uso versus the Haku Kid, or we have Gunther versus Orton. So, it would make sense to give Gunther a win over Randy Orton, right? I mean, that legitimizes him. I mean, that's, I think where you're heading. But also you gotta admit, what they're doing with the buildup on a lot of stuff now is way more interesting, because they ended SmackDown with Randy on the mic, basically calling him out. So now, does that go that way then? Or is it too obvious of a setup? Is that too much of a babyface move for them not to pull a heel move? So it kind of is a nice thing where you can go either way. It'd be interesting to see. Maybe we have Uso versus Orton versus Gunther versus the Haku Kid.
Just fuck it. Just make it a 4-way.
Yeah, exactly. Because you already got a 3-way. Why not have a 4-way? And then let's do a 6-way tag team ladder match.
Oh boy.
Get everybody a payday.
Right.
Yeah, it's the Saudis.
Well, exactly. Saudis, you got to make it a blood and guts match.
Well, I mean, honestly, if Edge was still in the company, it would be the loser dies match, and hopefully he'd lose.
Oh, yeah. That's let me transition right into where is the love. God dang, Matt Michaels, because there was no love there. All right, Mr. Basaleri. Who needs the love out there, man? What do you think?
Why? I did give Raw some praise, but why is Shayna Baszler jobbing for people? I mean, I don't ever think that she would lose to Io Sky. Now, Io Sky did wrestle well. I don't want to say she didn't. But why are we having Shayna Baszler get squashed in like what was it, not even one commercial break? Like, it was a pretty quick win for Io.
She's on NXT right now.
Shayna?
Oh, I'm sorry, Rob doesn't watch NXT.
No, I've got better things to do with my time than to watch the piss brand.
Watch a good show? Okay.
The piss brand. Out of here. Keep going. What else you got, man?
Well, yeah, there was that. And then I don't know what we're doing with War Dog again, because Wardlow's in the back. So they have all of the champions in the kingdom. And then they had the interviewer standing in front of Wardlow because he doesn't have a belt on. So why is the best guy in that group still sitting in the corner? And you can see he's pissed. He's frowning nonstop as they're conducting the interview because they've done nothing with him. Again, he is literally a cardboard cutout. Again, the guy who could take out all three of those members. Again, and we still have no Adam Cole now. Where's Adam Cole been? You can't just see I thought he was better. He was walking around. So that's more of a what the fuck. Just when we go to the what the fuck, just come back to that and we'll.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're in the wrong segment. All right.
Yep.
Let's move over to you, man. Michaels. Let me go over here, man. What about you?
Where's the love? I'm gonna say, where is the love to Nia Jax and the wonderful job she did of beating the shit out of Jade Cargill, but especially telling that little fucking brat that her mommy is just fucking awful. And that kid was so fucking bad at acting. It was absurd that is Jade's kid. It was amazing. That kid was so bad.
Well, when me and Jade have a kid, that kid will be way better at acting.
Well, okay.
Jade.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Tree hugs? You're giving her tree hugs?
I'm giving her free hugs.
Jesus.
Oh,
Free
boy.
hugs. Well, free hugs can lead to babies. So there's that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Jade.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go over to you. Sin City. Who needs the love out there?
You know, I gotta say this. Where is the love for Shane Taylor? This dude, super heavyweight, showed off his athleticism in the match against Will Ospreay on Collision. The one bright shining spot of the entire show was the match between Ospreay and Shane Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, Ospreay picked up the win, of course. But the thing that was pretty astounding, he actually, with the help of the turnbuckle, got the 300+ pound Shane Taylor on his shoulder for the Stormbreaker. So that was a sight to see for sure.
Sure.
But the thing is, when it comes to Shane Taylor specifically, I mean, has this dude ever won a match in AEW? I mean, I know there have to be winners and losers. That's just the nature of the business. And you're going to have people that just don't win. Yeah. But if they're going to hype this guy up as, as being any kind of a credible threat, the guy has no credibility because he's never won a match, at least none that I can recall. He's not feared. It's just like, okay, well, obviously we already know what direction the match is going to go.
Yep.
Regardless of who faces Shane Taylor, and it really shouldn't be that way. The guy is great in the ring, especially for his size. He's good on the mic. He's believable. Where is the love?
And when he was on the old school Ring of Honor, I'll use that term before your boy TK took over. Dude, Shane was a beast. Like nobody was able to like take this dude down. Him and he was one of the longest reigning 6-man tag group that they had. I agree with you, man. I don't know why they're not booking him.
I mean, he doesn't have to win every week by any means, but at least let him have a win so that they can build him up as a credible threat to anybody that they're going to put him in the ring against.
Sure.
Because then otherwise we know automatic victory for,
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, it's time to get to our favorites. That depends. Did anybody see any WTFs for the week? We're going to ask Matt Michaels when I be back. Mr. Michaels, did you find anything that had you going, what the fuck?
Yeah, apparently AEW has a pay-per-view coming up next week. I was like, what the fuck? It's
hard to be
interesting.
Determined.
Well, yeah, I think they're wrestling. I think there's wrestling on it.
Right.
I know that when TNA was in town, there were billboards.
Yeah.
If Tony doesn't know, there's these things that are on the freeway and they put advertisements on them, and they're called billboards because it was invented by a guy named Bill Board. And it shows people what's coming up. And TNA, like everyone knew, it was at the Palms. And Tony Khan's promotion, I think, is still at the Dollar Loan Center, which isn't even the Dollar Loan Center anymore, right?
No, Collision's at MGM.
No, Collision and the pay-per-view are both at MGM.
They've advertised Collision heavily. I've seen it on Charleston.
Yeah.
On the billboards in Charleston, they have a big billboard, but not for the pay-per-view, only for Collision, I saw.
So I have seen the digital billboards at several places around town.
With the black and white Tony Storm with the red lipstick and the John Moxley picture. That's the one I keep seeing.
No, I saw the Anarchy in the Arena.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I've just seen hookers with AEW written across their tits. So
there you go.
But is it not at it's not at MGM Grand?
No, it's at MGM Grand.
The Dollar Loan Center doesn't technically exist anymore either.
Right. Yeah, it's called
it's Lee's family,
right?
Fucking
Lee's family
house or something.
Lee's family orgy house. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's a weird name.
Something like that.
Well, listen, if the dollar stores are all going out of business, I guess you got to take that name off that arena as well. Okay.
Yeah, but Dollar Loan Center wasn't a dollar store. It's actually a loan finance.
That's right. It is a loan center. That's right. Well, that just shows that I don't know much about dollar stores or loan centers. So let's go over to the next. Sin City. You have any WTFs?
Yeah, actually. Holy shit, man. Collision. That's a WTF in itself.
Oh,
so here's the thing. Yeah. I typically love Collision because it is where you get a lot of the great in-ring stuff with AEW each week. But this week really did feel like an episode of AEW Dark that was broadcast on network TV, on cable TV. You knew who was going to win every single match. There wasn't anything extraordinary that came out of any of the matches. The Ospreay and Taylor match was solid, but make no mistake, it was a 2-hour block of squash matches, followed by another hour on Rampage. Something needs to be done about that for sure.
I wanted to ask you what happened to Collision, because it was, at one point you guys were saying it was like one of the top shows, even better than Dynamite, its main show, which didn't make any sense. So why have they just taken a fall this hard?
So I think that this is something that has been festering for a while with AEW programming, but it's really just gotten very bad lately. In that, as soon as the matches are scrolled across the screen, you can tell who's going to win every single match. And that's been the case for the last couple of weeks now. Less so on Dynamite, but Collision, it number one, it was taped in advance. So it was actually taped on the day after Dynamite this week. Yeah. So it was taped on Thursday, and it really did feel like a punt. Like across all 3 hours, it felt like a punt, and it wasn't good, man. But also,
keep going. I'm sorry, keep going. Do your thing.
No worries. So I was just going to mention, as we discussed, Eddie Kingston is actually going to be out of Anarchy in the Arena. Last week on the show, we speculated that he might not be in it because of the leg injury and his New Japan strong match against Gabe Kidd. And it is confirmed to be a broken leg. He is out of Anarchy in the Arena. Who do they get to replace him? I don't know. 2 months removed from a broken foot, and just after getting hit by a fucking New York City bus, Darby Allin. You can't make this shit up. Darby Allin is going to be filling in for Eddie Kingston. You're taking a guy out of the match with a broken leg. You're replacing him with a guy that just had a broken foot and got hit in the fucking face with a bus. And then to top it all off, next week on Dynamite, we're getting Bryan Danielson versus Satnam Singh. What the fuck?
Oh boy.
I thought Sting retired.
Jesus. Rob, Bossellary, man, what you got? DDWTF.
Well, we did mention earlier that you've got Wardlow sitting in the corner doing nothing. And the boss of the people who's supposed to be fine. I thought that Adam Cole Bebe was fine and walking around, but I don't recall seeing him in that promo this week. So don't know what's going on with him. No storytelling going on. We've got Collision where it was literally like enhancement talent. Like Jack Cartwheel, what the fuck is that? Where are they pulling these people from? They literally went to the local bingo hall and said, we need some matches. Let me get some people. I don't know why they can't get their booking down. And I think the only thing you could say is like the Knicks today. Your top guys are kind of injured and are already indicating, I mean, we're going to talk about it later, but like Bryan Danielson's got fucked up C 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 through 12. And he's not going to be able to do Wembley if they're going to be operating on his neck right after this pay-per-view. So what are we doing here with your best guys in the roster beat up and you never invested in the lower guys? And all the WWE guys who got kicked out have 3-month non-compete clauses. So I guess like Bryan Danielson's going to have to wrestle with a neck brace for so they can replace him with some relevant people. Same thing with going on with Copeland, like a barbed wire match. That's not going to carry the entire pay-per-view, this barbed wire match. And there's no exit for him. If he wins or loses, I really don't give a shit because I'm bored to tears already. Oh, yeah, you've got my crap wedding ring. What do I give a shit? That's the thing that's going to send him over the edge. Unless his wife comes in there and saves it, I don't give a shit. If Beth Copeland, they're going to have to call her Mrs. Cope. If Mrs. Cope comes in there and saves the match, otherwise, what do I give a shit?
Yeah.
Oh, you got my wedding ring that I got Dollar Tree, you know?
I see what you did there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dollar Tree Loan Center.
That's right. Call back, bitches. I'm a comic.
That's how it works. All right. Let's see
I thought you had to be funny to be a comic.
Oh boy. Here we go.
You know, I'm the funniest person that you've ever seen. Believe it. And there he's laughing already. He's already laughing. You see how funny I am? Okay, you.
You gotta excuse the producers. They're they're on the time limit, so they gotta.
We're the EVPs.
All right,
we're the young cucks.
I know we are all excited for so much coming up this weekend, but let's see how true that may be. Sin City Steve, what are you looking out for?
Well, the elephant in the room. I'm looking forward to Collision and Double or Nothing. I did pick up my tickets this week, so yeah, we'll be checking both of those shows out, and can't wait for those. Hopefully, they can recapture some of the magic, I guess, from the first Double or Nothing 5 years later, because they need to do something to resurrect this brand. I do like what they're doing with the Elite, though. Running roughshod on the show, the Bucks abusing their power and firing Christopher Daniels after their match, having security remove him from the arena, just dickhead moves. And then you have Jack Perry actually getting some of the most heat that he's ever gotten in his career by dumping an energy drink on Tony Schiavone's head. I mean, say what you will. People don't like it when you fuck with Schiavone. But I am interested to see where it goes from here. They have to either introduce someone else in at the pay-per-view or something just to keep this shit going. But
let me ask you,
at least they're building storylines that are consistent and that are continuing to build on each other.
Sure. And it's good to see that's happening. But I'm curious though, is the EVP storyline, is that really catching on? Are fans really hating them, booing them? Is it catching on, or do people not care the fact of the role they're playing?
I mean, so you're gonna have a decent amount of the viewers that are going to love the Young Bucks no matter what they do. You're going to have a decent amount of people in the wrestling sphere that are going to hate the Young Bucks, even if they don't watch the product, but they're going to hate the Young Bucks because they're the Young Bucks. The problem is that people aren't even watching any of this and giving it any kind of an opportunity. The viewership shows that.
Sure.
If they were constantly, at a higher number and then it drops, because you can view the quarter hours. So if people were tuning out for their segments only, then I think that might hold some water. But realistically, I'm trying to not let any of the hyperbole, get me swept up or anything like that. I just, we've been looking for them to try to build storylines and build characters with vignettes, pre-tapes, any of these things, and they're finally doing it.
Okay.
And hopefully at this point, they're trying to throw whatever they can at the wall to see what will stick.
Yeah.
Let's just hope something does.
Well, Barcelona, it does look like Maria here. And welcome to the show, because John is taking up all the comment box. Like, hey, John, let some other people get in there. Not just messing with you. Maria said, hey, she loving the EVP story. So, okay, it looked like there is some liking to it.
I would like to see more from them across episodes.
Okay.
I want to see more interaction with stuff that they do that doesn't involve their own elite clique. I want to see them interacting in all of the matches and really dominating the show, suffocating the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And I would also like to see the brother. I would like Matthew and Nicholas to start calling their own matches. I want Matthew to call a match and then Nicholas get involved in it and go, who told you to do this? I want to see them butt heads. I would like to see them starting to butt heads.
They're always butt heads.
You've got better than that to take, Matt Michaels. Come on now. That's not even good dad jokes. It's like 80s principal humor.
Oh, sorry. I Beavis that one up.
Hold on, let me put the correct sound of that.
Yeah, then you got better.
All right. There we go.
You're giving I'll give you a mulligan on that, which will be the name of the next AEW show, AEW Mulligan.
Pretty much, dude.
And also, I mean, what I'm looking forward to, not counting the bloodline, that's going to be good. But I think this week was kind of a lull. I mean, they didn't do anything new out of the box.
So what you're looking forward to? I know the Saudi Arabia show has really got you.
So what I'm looking forward to is seeing I want to see with the King and Queen of the Ring. I want to see what they're going to do with this Uncle Howdy thing. I want to see. They're not talking about just him. There might be it looks like it's going to be some sort of a faction, some sort of a new clique. I'm hoping that's what it is. I'm hoping it's something that can rival the Judgment Day. I want to see how dark they can take this. I really, really hope that it is going to be an extension of what we've already seen so far with everything that Bray Wyatt has done. I really would love to see him channel Bray Wyatt and have complete associative disconnect. This guy is losing it. He thinks he really is Bray Wyatt and starts using his catchphrases and such, and then has a whole crew with him. Maybe all of the people in the funhouse come to life in some manner. I'm hoping they do something like that. That would really, I would be glued to my seat every Monday night instead of just scroll, look for spots, fast forward, look for spots.
You want to see the pig wrestling in the ring. Okay.
Well, no, I mean, what if they did something like that? Imagine if you took, and not to say that he's already in Alpha Academy, but imagine if you took the big dude from Alpha Academy, have him be the pig.
Otis.
You know what I'm saying? I can picture that.
Hey, let me move over to you, Matt Michaels. What are you looking forward to?
Jim Ross coming back to the WWE to specifically bring in fake Bray and fake Luke Harper. I think that should be a pretty good thing coming on here. It's going to have legs. I already understand that Kane is set to play the fake Luke Harper, so that should be good. I'm looking forward to seeing the fans in Saudi Arabia.
Thank you, John. Apparently, he's not looking forward to anything. So, yeah.
I want to see the fans chant in Saudi Arabia, something obscene. Now that it's not PG television anymore, I think the fans can, finally voice their freedoms.
So that they all can be beheaded.
No, Saudi Arabia, there is no freedom.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing, Rob.
Yeah, there is no freedom.
What? Oh my God.
There is no freedom in Saudi Arabia.
No.
Oh man. I don't know. We should send some journalists over there to get the whole story.
Oh, jeez.
Are you volunteering, Matt?
Right.
If I get my credentials, sure, I will be the first to go. And trust me, I will lose my head.
Oh man.
You're gonna have to clean up.
Randy versus Kid Haku should be very good. I agree, Maria.
Yeah. All right. Let's move over and see what's best in show for everybody this week. All righty. Best in show. So I'll kick this off one for Rob. I already know you're going to give it to Raw. So tell us why Raw was your best in show.
They had the most matches that were bangers that week. They just really pushed storylines along. I really liked the stuff that was from King of the Ring. I just enjoyed everything that Raw did, and we got some growth out of it for the company this week. So Raw.
Gotcha. Okay. Let me move over to you. Let's go, Matt Michaels.
Without a doubt, Rampage. I think it was a buried hour of television, which was the smartest move they've made. Just put it on after Collision on a Saturday where no one's going to see it. And that kind of makes it worth, making it the best show of the week. So good for you, AEW.
Oh, boy. Well, let me move over to you, Sin City. What was best in show for you?
This is what happens when his camera's working. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. When his shit doesn't glitch out. Perfect.
You glitch out, you have poignant thoughts.
Yeah.
And this is how you split the nuclear.
That's
then your camera works, you get dad jokes.
I can't believe I'm agreeing with Matt Michaels, at least on one thing. AEW Dynamite. Shout out to John, who was able to attend Dynamite in Everett and then ducked out of there right after and was able to go watch the Rolling Stones in the same night. So
nice.
Pretty awesome evening there for John.
Yeah.
And I've said it. I'm definitely appreciative that we're seeing more of these vignettes and pre-tapes and all this kind of stuff. They're, playing up mainstream news headlines for Swerve Strickland, making him feel like more of a big deal. Who, incidentally, he did have a very good match with Brian Cage on the show as well. But again, he had a match with Brian Cage. Who do you think won the fucking match?
Right.
Good job. Thanks for continuing to telegraph your booking. But yeah, keep all that shit going, minus the match selection. Keep building your characters, keep advancing storylines as much as you can. And finally, I'm sure something will eventually stick to the wall.
Good stuff.
Oh, I want to throw something in there. I almost forgot. Like an honorable mention. TNA had a really good week, and they did an 4-versus-4 champions versus superstars match, which was freaking incredible.
Wait, wasn't it like it was like 8 versus 8?
Yeah, that's right. It was
Yeah.
8 versus 8, and but it was led by Joe Hendry for the faces. But again, they had the women wrestling the men. It was just a great all around brawl, and we got Joe Hendry with the win. But fucking great programming, actually. I really should mention that. And they had Ryan Nemeth, Nick Nemeth's brother, in there. So all around good show. I want to give that an honorable mention.
And then you know what? We got to start watching a little bit more TNA, or at least adding them more to the conversation, because they do good stuff over there. But I think the problem with them is all these other wrestling shows is taking up all of our time.
Yeah, but you don't watch any of them.
Yeah, no shit.
I watched 75% of them. So.
He mentions NXT, but then past that, I don't know.
He doesn't get to NXT. He gets through the first hour of Raw and then falls asleep. And then just, says how good Raw was and that he can slide by for the rest of the week.
And I'll ask him, like, did you see that show? He'll go, nah, I didn't watch that shit. Oh.
I need y'all
You're the host of a wrestling podcast.
I need y'all to stop.
Which matches did you see? I saw the Pizza Hut commercial in between the Raw stuff, and I saw the two hosts introduce themselves, and so the commercial for AEW looked good.
Maria makes a great point. TNA does an excellent job developing younger talent. Absolutely, 100%.
Which will then get absorbed by WWE and AEW, never to be seen or heard from again, unless it's Jade Cargill.
Jesus. All right.
My future wife.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that goes. Hey,
that's what I'm looking forward to.
We're about to end this podcast stream and start a brand new 1 for 3 count, and we got 3 good topics for you. You see the scrolls coming below. We're going to talk about Tiffany Stratton made a little bit of news this week, so we'll see what your thoughts on that. Bryan Danielson, see what his doctor is saying about the surgery there, and how about bringing the Royal Rumble to Saudi? I mean, you know what? I think WWE corporate offices is just going to go ahead and move to Saudi Arabia. Just move from Hartford and Stamford, and just go on to Saudi Arabia, because the king is going to dump all the cash over to you. So, hey, why not? But we're going to talk about it in the next segment. So make sure you're following us, no matter which one. If you're following us to YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, you should get the notification and then hop back on. We really want to hear your thoughts and comments on that. As always, thank you for hanging out with us on this Wrestling Talk edition. And with that, we will see you next week. Happy wrestling to you all.